Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am very stoked to bring back my guest that I had about 9 months ago, but now she's back, and it is Gisele Shaw of Impact Wrestling. Gisele, it is so nice to have you back here once again. We spoke not too long ago, but I'm so happy to talk to you again because so much has happened for you since the last time we spoke. But before we get into that, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. Sorry, I was expecting like pops and circumstances or something, whatever, but I was told I was gonna get like pyro. I'm
I
I'm
know,
just
right?
kidding.
Right? Imagine just
Yeah,
like pyro in an interview.
yeah. No, I'm doing great. So much has happened, for me, to me in the year. Um, and yeah, and I'm super excited to be here chatting with you again.
Yes, let's do this. Let's do this. So, oh my God. So, one of the things that we discussed last time that you were on the podcast was you had just come out as transgender. And now, fast forward, we are just a couple days away from your 1 year anniversary of coming out to the entire, not just the wrestling world, but just in your personal life as well, in all aspects of your life. So, given that we are just a couple days away from your 1 year anniversary, I want to start off by asking you how you feel this whole journey since then has been.
Uh, Phew, you know what? Like I said, so much has happened, but I feel like with the year, that passed by, I have had time to really, you know, accept myself, be my true authentic self, just live as happily as I can be, and just um, I've grown, not only personally but also professionally, and it's been amazing. It's just been such like it's a new chapter in my life that I didn't know what was going to happen, and I'm just here for the ride, and I'm just happy that I took that leap, and here we are.
Exactly, taking the leap because I was watching your diary episode, by the way, and it was so, oh my God, it was very, very moving. And one
Mhm,
of the things that you spoke about was feeling like a prisoner prior to
mhm,
coming out. And then you came out and it was just a whole different change. And when you talk about feeling like a prisoner and then finally having the opportunity to come out, how different are things for you? Because one of the things that was also mentioned in that was how when you would be in public, you kind of were always wondering, hey, is this
mhm.
person know my secret? Does this person know? Is this person thinking this or that about me? And how different do you think things are now in your daily life?
Right. So I did say in my diary, that before I told my story, um, it was such a struggle, waking up every single day, thinking, like I would go just about my regular day, and then thinking, oh, I can't really enjoy, being in a restaurant with people because I'm constantly thinking, do these people know? Because they're looking at me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, like what's going on? And it just gives me such anxiety, and even like meeting new people, it really stressed me out. To like it's just mentally draining. Um, and then telling my story and disclosing, it was just such a relief. It was like, okay, cool. Like I can breathe, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people think now. And, I can enjoy my life freely. And like I said, it's very liberating, and just to experience life fully the way it's supposed to be, where I'm not just like constantly. Uh it's been such an amazing um journey, and just amazing in general, that I get to just be me.
What has the support been like from people in your personal life, people in your work life, and even like fans in general? What has the feedback been like since you came out and like the whole entire year? Have you noticed any changes?
So my parents, my mom and dad, they they had like a hard time of it, like accepting it in the beginning and stuff. And to now they're just so supportive and I love it. Like my sisters, they've always been supportive since day one. And, and I'm really fortunate to have that with them. And, and at work, I mean, everyone, management, front office, talent, like you name it, everyone is just super, super support. Excuse me, super, super supportive, and I'm just fortunate, to have that because like I don't want to be going to work and be like, oh my God, here I go again. I have to go to work, and then now I have to like, experience like bigotry and discrimination and all that stuff, from people that's like your workplace is kind of like your second family, and for them to just be like, oh my gosh, like we're so happy for you, and and we just love you, and just to be accepting. I'm it's been really, really great, and the fans, oh my gosh. So I've always thought that I was like, you know what, like there's always going to be that one person here or there that's going to say something negative about it, but the like those fans, like if you say something negative about me, like they're there and they're just like, oh my gosh, like it's like this army that that's just like ready to defend me at all costs. And I appreciate them so much and I love them. And um I you know, again, I'm so fortunate to have that, from the fans, from my family, from my coworkers, and because not everyone, has that support. And hopefully I'm able to support those people that um, unfortunately don't have that in their lives.
Right. And this is the thing that I kind of want to touch on from what you just mentioned was you mentioned that in the beginning it was very hard for your parents to accept those changes because clearly
Hmm.
they're your parents and they love you however you are, right? But
Yeah.
how was that relationship like and how did they go from, having a hard time with it to accepting it? Because I'm sure if there's any, parents here, anybody going through what you did, whether it's a parent or just somebody that
Hmm.
might want to have that change in their life. I'm sure that that's a big fear of like being accepted by your parents.
Hmm. I think it's a lot of pressure. I think obviously everyone has their own journey and everyone is different, story wise. But I come from an Asian, culture. And for them already was a lot of pressure of, oh, this is the first born child and just so happens to be quote unquote, nor like boy. And then they go, this is the person that's going to carry our legacy and our last name. So it's like, okay, I never asked for that, but whatever. And then to to again being in an Asian culture where they go, you know what, we want you to be a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer or like those, your typical, um, I don't want to say Asian jobs,
I get
but
it. We get it.
yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there's that pressure, right? Where they go, only 90 plus percent, anything less than that is unacceptable. Like they've really had that mentality. So um yeah, it was a lot for them, and then, for them, right? Like, and I do understand this for them, it's almost like, "Oh, wow, we have this high expectations for this child," and then to them, I've disappointed them. So, I think that's something that they had to really understand and to it's almost like for them to realize that it's like, "Oh, like, they put that on me. I never asked for it," you know? So their disappointment was because of what they, asked of me, or not even asked of what they gave me because of the culture and stuff and whatever. But like we just talked about it, I feel like that's what we need to do as people is that you just have to talk about situations, have uncomfortable conversations because it's those are the most important conversations that we should have, and that's what makes us grow as people and move forward and to really understand a certain situation, no matter what that is. Because sometimes, like if we don't talk, like we're never going to get anywhere, and I think that's the most important thing is to listen and comprehend rather than listening to respond.
I love that, the way that you said, like, communication and listening and responding and just, like, overall education about it, right?
Mhm,
So, we kinda talked about, some of the positives in terms of how you don't have to be, watching every or overthinking every second of your life. No one wants to live that way. And we also talked about, how your peers have handled it or just, like, reactions, right? Overall reactions. Now,
mhm,
one of the things that no matter how many positives there are out there, there are going to be those negatives. There are going to be people that react
mhm.
different ways. There are going to be those low moments. What have those low moments felt like for you since you came out, and just some of the things that have occurred? How have you gone about bouncing back from that and not letting that impact the decision that you made and the life that you're leading?
So, it's something that I actually had to learn, how to deal with, because no matter if it's like a positive or a negative comment, I see it all online, um and it impacted, say, hey, you know what, like we can block those, we can whatever, so you don't have to see it. But I think for me it's so important that I see those, because those are, it's a part of me to grow and be like, you know what, those comments, like, they shouldn't affect me, because at the end of the day, no matter who you are, no matter what you are, people are going to say something no matter what. Because somewhere, someone out there is very unhappy, or they just want to stay relevant, or they want to be in the conversation to feel like they're included. That whatever they do doesn't reflect what I do. And that's something that I had to learn and really accept and be like, you know what, like, it's not me, it's them. And I'm out here living my best life, and I'm inspiring people, I'm raising awareness, I'm educating people, I'm empowering people. And that's the most important thing for me. And this is why I do this, not only for the people in the community, but for, the generation now, for the generation that came before, and the next generation. And you know what? Yeah, okay, cool. Sometimes, like, I may look at a negative comment and go, oh, yeah, you know what? And then I remember I live rent free in this person's head. So I love it.
Exactly, exactly. And like honestly, I just feel like moving forward is the best thing that you can do because no one
Mhm,
can dictate like how you live your life and what you want to do with it. And
mhm,
so it is something that I know for a lot of people it still may be hard to comprehend because we see those comments online. Everybody sees those comments, everybody sees everybody's opinion, but I do think that, it's like when people come out and they talk about their story, it could be one of, you never know, somebody could be watching that could be, let's just be real, completely anti
mhm.
transgender people. And then they go in and they watch this interview or watch somebody talk about it. And they're like, oh my God, why do I feel this way when this person is so nice and so cool?
Right. So I think it's because, right, that either people are misinformed, uneducated, or um, they just listen to people that have this opinion or mentality, and then they go, okay, well, they're right, without really understanding or knowing what the topic is. Just because, well, you know what, it's social media. Like, I'm just gonna say whatever the heck I'm gonna say to feel included. But um, I think it's so important that we talk about it. And sorry, I went on a tangent and I completely forgot the question.
It
Can
was
you
more
repeat the
so a
question again?
comment. It was more so a comment
Yes,
about, people having those, feelings about, being anti-transgender, but then it's like you're
right.
still like, it doesn't
Yes.
make you any different in terms of like being a human, right?
So what I was going to say, and I completely forgot about it, was that for the longest time, um, transgender people have always been, portrayed by Hollywood that, we're sick in the head, that we have something wrong with us, that we are the villains of the story, that we're murderers, that we're rapists, that we're all of this negative things, because at the time they thought, you know what, you can make fun of them and this is weird and it's just like a ha ha ha, it's disgusting, whatever. So for the longest time, that's what's in people's minds. because we didn't talk about that because that was something new to them. So that's why it's important for us to, really, for me, especially for me, that I have a platform, with Impact Wrestling, with the community, to really shine a spotlight on what's important, and show them that we're not those kind of people, like that's such a stereotype, and people don't really know, a trans person, and then they'll say something really crappy, about someone, and then they go, they meet me, for example, or they meet someone and they go, you know what, like that's completely different from what I thought a trans person would be. And rightfully so, because you were misinformed. You're misled to think that we're psychotics and like I mean, I'm psychotic in my own way, but it's not the fact that I'm trans, like, it has nothing to do with it. But yeah, I think it's just, I think that's just important to raise awareness and really just have conversations with people and like I said, to listen and hopefully it makes a difference.
No, I think you're so right on that because it's like years of whatever like
Mhm.
propaganda has been like embedded in your mind or all of these horrible things wherever you're getting them from the news or the media or just in TV in general. Whatever the
Yeah.
situation is, wherever you're getting this information from, I think it's entirely different experience to go out and talk to people and really just have this experience. So I do want to talk to you because this is also Pride Month and there's so many cool events. I'm out here in Los Angeles, so I see all of the great stuff that's going on, like in Hollywood, especially West Hollywood. And it is so nice to go out to the parades and just see
Yeah.
everybody just so happy and all of the bright colors and really great outfits and all of this awesome stuff. So I'm curious, how are you celebrating Pride Month and what does Pride Month mean to you?
So Pride Month, to me is a celebration of just being your true authentic self without judgment, without hate, you know and it's a celebration of the people that came before us who had to work, you know so hard to even to have this event, the blood that's spilled, the hate, the violence that came, so it's almost just like a celebrating those people that, like, thank you to them, we're able to do this now, you know so I think it's really important that we're celebrating Pride Month. And last year I did Pride Toronto, and this year we're brewing something. I can't talk about it right now, but we're gonna do something special. And and for me, I think it's really important with my platform. Like I say, that I do raise awareness and I educate people and inspire people and empower them. And um, for me, like I've always said that, you know what? I don't want to be like a poster child for the community and stuff, whatever. But I think it's important to just, you know, um, I do have this platform, and I want to help as best as I can to really, put a spotlight on the important things. And I never asked for it, um, but it is a responsibility. It's a huge responsibility, and I just hope that I'm doing, the community. You know, I'm like, they're proud of me for whatever work that I'm doing, and I love it. And I feel like every year, like it doesn't have to be Pride Month, but I feel like it's just my life. It's just to raise awareness and help people.
Man, that's awesome. I think it's awesome because it's like you get to have this opportunity to be a voice for a certain group of people, and that's definitely comes with a lot of power. And I think within just having that power, I think it also gives you your own strength where you're like, you know what? And I know you kind of said in the beginning that you were maybe a little bit hesitant about having to
Hmm.
be the person that's out there like, oh, being the voice, right? But at the same time, I do think that it kind of makes you stronger like in like with whatever you're battling through or
Hmm.
whatever you still have to sort out or work through. I feel like it kind of gives you like more confidence and more strength.
Of course, like we discussed a while ago, where I would see a negative comment, online, and then I go, "Oh my gosh, like that makes me feel like crappy about myself." And then I remember that I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm doing this for people who don't have a voice. I'm doing this for, the person like I was as a kid watching, wrestling, and I watched, the knockouts and the divas, and I was like, you know what? I was inspired by them. So hopefully by me telling my story, like I get up, every day and I go, you know what? That negative comment just fueled me to be more um loud, to be more prideful, you know what I mean? To be proud and that really motivates me um because it's not just for me, it's for other people as well. And um not everyone has a voice. I have, a voice, I have a platform, and I am going to be using that for the greater good.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Giselle, I want to thank you so much for coming on here and chatting with me and chatting with everybody here and getting to, again, use your platform to, talk about all of this stuff. And congratulations. I know you're nearing again
Thank
that
you.
1 year anniversary of coming out. So congratulations to you. And before we go, just let the people know, some of the upcoming shows where people can watch Impact Wrestling and where they can support you.
Right. So Impact Wrestling is on Access TV in the United States at 8 p.m. In Canada on FightNet. And if you don't have those channels, you can always access it on YouTube, Insider. We have Impact Plus, and also DAZN Wrestling. So there's so many platforms that you can watch this, and it's so worth it. I feel like we have the greatest storylines out there, and we have such a kick-ass roster, and all the supports. Um, we love all the sports that we can get, and you won't be disappointed.
You definitely won't. And for everybody, do not forget Summer Sizzle is taking place June 23rd and 24th in Atlanta. And then also Slammiversary is coming up July 15 in Windsor, Ontario. I put all of the links in the description box below. And of course, the links to follow Giselle in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm Denise Salcedo, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.